as well as there was evidence and witnesses that stated Mr. Camus placed the victim Amanda Custer's lifeless body in the back storage cargo area of a 2017 gray Prius. From that point, we know that the suspect left that residence. He traveled eastbound. We know that he went to Glendora on Foothill Boulevard, and he stopped at a Del Taco at approximately 8:32 hours, where he purchased a food item, and he continued on Foothill Boulevard to a Shell gas station where he purchased cigarettes. At that point, we know that he continued eastbound on Baseline, and he was in Claremont in the area of Baseline and Padua Avenue at approximately 8:56 a.m. It's the investigators' belief that the suspect continued eastbound, as the next known location for the suspect was at an AM/PM in the 3800 block of Sierra Avenue near Lido Creek. We do have video of Robert Camus inside this AM/PM and brief footage of the vehicle at that location. That will be released to you through SIB. For the next 5 hours, from 9:27 when he left that AM/PM, he traveled south immediately on the 15 freeway, away from Lido Creek. We know that later that evening or afternoon, at approximately 2:41 p.m., he was at a Chase Bank ATM located at 150 Foothill Boulevard in the city of Azusa. So we have a 5-hour gap of time where we do not know where Mr. Camus or Amanda Custer were at. This is where we're seeking the public's assistance in trying to give this basic timeline, try to get people to recall where they were at during these times in these areas. And again, we need the public's assistance in locating Amanda. She has still not been seen nor heard from by family members. And this is very uncharacteristic of her behavior to not be heard from for over 10 days. So we are very concerned about this. Ultimately, Mr. Camus was located in downtown Los Angeles on the early morning hours of the 30th at approximately 2:45 by LAPD officers near 2nd Street and Hill. This contact resulted in a standoff, a barricaded suspect in the Prius, which resulted in the arrest of Mr. Camus at about 7:45. There was, it's in circulation, a video of Mr. Camus rapping a song at a downtown LA bar. Investigators have vetted that video, and they have determined that, in fact, that was the suspect, in this case, Robert Camus, rapping about killing a female and burying her in the dirt. Mr. Camus remains in custody on an unrelated domestic violence case. And this investigation is ongoing. We've been out in this community of Azusa Canyon, Mount Baldy, and Lido Creek since the 29th when this incident first occurred. We've had search teams out handing out flyers, searching various areas, but it's such a broad area that we desperately need the community's assistance in trying to pinpoint a location of where this Prius may have been off-road, or anybody that has any information as to where Amanda Custer is at. At this time, I would like to introduce Rick Custer, Amanda Custer's father, for a brief statement.
Okay, how you doing? This is basically a plea to anybody out there, especially on Monday, the 29th of July, that was hiking or fishing or mountain biking, that might have seen anything out of the ordinary. It might not have seemed important at that time, but it does now. So they have a sheriff's tip line. You can call in on that. Saw a gray Prius up there that didn't look like it should be up there. I need to call in on that tip line. I've been with the sheriff's department, coordinating with them since day one, and they've been keeping me up to date pretty good. And I've gone up there a couple times myself, up to Lido Creek, no results. Some other family members have been out there, no results. So basically, that's it. I just want to make a plea. someone must have seen something. Somebody out there had to have seen something, and now would be a good time to call it in. We just want to bring Amanda home. Thank you.
A couple other things I'd like to add. When the investigators processed the suspect's Prius, they did locate blood in the cargo area of that Prius, as well as a tool that is used for digging. So those were items that were recovered inside the suspect vehicle when that was processed.
Was that Amanda's blood?
At this point, it's still in the crime lab being tested, but all I can say, speak to is the fact that there was blood in the back of the car.
What kind of digging tool was it? Was it like a camera shovel?
I'm going to leave that vague at this point as a digging tool. Okay.
Camus was being held, is being held on those unrelated charges. First part of this question is, can you confirm that those unrelated charges, which are domestic violence, Amanda C. is listed in the complaint. Is she the victim in those charges that he is facing on that domestic violence remain?
Yes.
Okay. And then following up on that, even though he's now being held in connection with the disappearance, will you say that he is the prime suspect in the disappearance?
He is our prime suspect in the disappearance of Amanda Custer.
Is he your prime and only suspect?
At this point, yes.
Lieutenant, can you clarify on that timeline? I thought I heard you say that after the sighting at the gas station, he went south. So do we no longer think that he went north up into the mountains or up into Lido Creek?
All I can say is the evidence there shows the video that it shows him going back southbound away from Lido Creek. Again, there's other exits southbound, not to say that you can't double back into that area. So we are not ruling out Lido Creek at all, but we are now broadening the scope from Lido Creek all the way to Azusa Canyon, including Mount Baldy.
Lieutenant, have you been able to take any teams to go in there, look at the roads and trails along those various places, go 100, 200 feet off, do an area sweep, area search, either visually or with dogs or anything else like that? Have anything turned up?
Yes, over the last 10 days, we've had search teams out every day, searching different areas of Lido Creek, Mount Baldy. We have deployed dogs. We've deployed helicopters from the Pasadena Police Department, Sheriff's Department helicopters, looking for any type of evidence, looking for Amanda Custer. So we have actively been out searching, and we continue to search.
May I ask where you're from? You're from out of state. May I ask what state you're from?
That's not relevant right now. Yeah, I'm just
Thank you.
focused on Amanda.
Is Amanda a single mom? Does she have a child?
Yes, she has a child. The child is with family members right now. Child is 8 years old. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, she has a child. He's 8 years old, and he's with family members, and he's doing good.
What kind of toll is this taking on your family?
It's pretty bad. It's not easy. You know, no matter what she did in the past, nobody deserves that.
Lieutenant, do we think Camus took affirmative steps like cutting off the monitoring and getting rid of the cell phone to avoid being tracked?
It's a very good possibility, yes, absolutely.
So what time did the monitoring then end, the electronic monitoring that he was under court order to keep?
What was the question? The monitor went off, what, 8:40, 8:45? The ankle bracelet?
We're not going to comment as to what time the monitor cut off, but it is a 24/7 monitoring service for pretrial services. He was on that because he was being allowed to be out on bail for the Pasadena domestic violence case.
Was that monitor ever located?
Yes, it was.
Was it way back at the house?
We're not discussing where it was located.
But he didn't have one when he was arrested.
We're not discussing where it was located.
And you have retrieved his phone records already?
As I said, it's an ongoing investigation. Investigators are looking at all aspects that they would look at in a case like this. And at this point, since it's ongoing, we don't want to discuss details as it pertains to that.
Lieutenant, is this a major flaw in our criminal justice system that a man who is a suspect in a crime can use his knowledge as a bargaining chip and withhold what he knows during the search for a missing person?
Yeah, I I can't answer that.
Why can't this guy tell you where she is?
He has his rights that self-incrimination, and people are exercising those rights possibly, or maybe not. Again, we've interviewed. We're not getting into details of statements made by the suspect or other witnesses. Okay.
Is he cooperating at all?
Any other questions?
Yeah, there have been vigils from the prayers. There has been an outpouring of support for Amanda. If you could just tell us what it means to you to have that kind of support and the need for more support like that to keep her memory in this case active. If you could come back to us.
Do you want to answer that question or not?
Well, it just means a lot to us that they're out there, you know, looking for her and praying for her. So that means a lot to us. And, you know, we can't ask for anything more, really. So I don't know what to say about that. It's just great that they're doing that. And it might help. Someone might actually call in a tip or something. So we're just waiting for that. We might get that one tip we're looking for. So we're just waiting for that.
Any words for Cabu?
I've never met the man. I haven't heard anything from him. Never met him once, so I have no contact with him whatsoever.
Again, we're asking as the public's assistance. If anybody has any information, contact Sheriff Homicide Bureau. If they wish to remain anonymous, Crime Stoppers is an excellent option for that. So thank you very much for coming.
Lieutenant, can I just ask you, could you just go to that map and just point from one to one, next, here,
Location of the crime in city of Monrovia, then went down to the Del Taco area and the Shell gas station, number 2, and then down into Lido Creek area, and then back to the ATM at Chase. So as you can see, this area here is basically the search area we're focusing on at this point for Amanda.
And the biggest gap in time is between what 2 points?
It's between the ATM number 4 and the Chase ATM, the yellow. So between the yellow and the blue pin marks. And that's approximately 5 hours.
Where does the case stand right now? So he is in custody. What happens with him next at this point?
Investigators from Homicide Bureau are awaiting adjudication from that case, and at that point they will seek charges on this case, or at least present it to the DA's office.
Any idea how long he was involved with Amanda?
About 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, approximately 2 to 3 years they had known each other, had a dating relationship.
Was there currently a restraining order against him filed by her? I know there have been reports that she had perhaps tried to do something with that in February. I was just wondering if that was still current or present.
I don't know details on that. I'm sorry.
Lieutenant, do we know how he got Amanda to the house with the protective order that was in effect at the time?
Again, we don't know why she was there, if she went there voluntarily or against her will. We don't know that at this point.
Mr. Custer, do you feel comfortable talking about what Amanda had done to try to get away from this guy, disentangle himself from him?
She was actually getting ready to leave on a new job out of town here like last week. So she was trying to get away from him. So
The new job was going to be in another city.
yeah, I don't know where it was. She didn't get that far with me to tell me exactly where it was. But she was trying, I told her she needs to get away from him. She was trying.
Do you think that might have spurred him to say, you're not leaving? I mean, obviously he was distraught about her leaving.
Again, we don't know. We don't know the motive at this point and what happened and why. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Lieutenant, you're going to be available for Spanish, right? You're available for Spanish, right? Lieutenant here from Monrovia is going to be available for any Spanish interviews, if you like. And if you want the footage,